Hey everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we have the Yakima LongHaul hanging bike rack. This is going to be an RV rated bike rack, which means you can carry this with your 2022 Winnebago Forza Motorhome. So with this bike rack, there are not that many. There are a good amount of bike racks that are rated for motorhomes, but they have to be extra sturdy because there's a lot more sway in the back. So the LongHaul is definitely designed for that feature, but also compared to some other RV bike racks, this takes up less space and is a bit more affordable. It's also a hanging rack though, and that has its downsides. So we'll talk about that focusing here on our motorhome. What types of bikes can you carry with this? Well, it does have a 37.5 pound per bike weight capacity. So for your bikes of different shapes and sizes and different weights, this can carry most of them. If you have heavy electric bikes though, probably not as ideal. With that, I would recommend taking a look at our platform racks with more weight capacity. Also, those are easier to lift your heavy bikes onto. Our mountain bike is here, and we have 1, 2, 3 touch points securing the bike. So with this tightened down, notice how much sway we have with our third touch point. While it looks like it's some, compare that to taking out our strap here, and it significantly increases. That's why this is helpful for making sure when you have 4 bikes loaded up, they don't all sway into each other. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these zip strips out. It's a matter of pressing these levers and then lifting up on the zip strip, and just like that, it is removed. Now we're going to take the bike off, and that's gonna be a little tricky because it's a hanging rack. So this is what I do. I just lift it up and I kind of angle it back and forth. You may want to hold on to your front tires too to decrease the sway. And now our bike is off. So that was definitely an effort. And if you have differently shaped frames, let's say kids bikes and step 3 bikes, you probably need to get a frame adapter bar to accommodate for those frames. Now let's take a look at the cradle, and notice there that has that rubberized material, and see how we have a cushion. That's going to be to cushion your bike's frames as well as to prevent scuffs and scratches from occurring. When the bike is off, we are able to get our straps and put them back on by just pushing in. We also have a third lever here, or the third strap. We're going to push that in so it's out of the way. That also helps make it easier for loading your bikes up and taking them off. This is going to take up some space behind your motorhome though. So let's take some measurements. Measuring from our bumper to the end of the rack, that sits at 43 inches. So it's a good amount of length, but you already have a really large motorhome, so what's a little bit more? What you can do though is you can pull this trigger finger and bring the arms down, and now it's more compact. Obviously you'd only do this with the bikes off, but taking another measurement, bumper end of the rack, that's 15 inches. Big difference compared to when the arms were up. You'll want it in this position maybe when you're parked at the campsite and you don't need to take up much space, but you also don't need to put your bikes away for travel. This has a 2-inch hitch receiver, or 2-inch shank, fits into a 2-inch hitch receiver, has an anti-rattle bolt to prevent it from moving around as you drive. So features like that are what makes this RV compatible. It's just a straight bike rack, pretty simple. Still has nice features like those zip strips and those cushions, as well as a cable lock for security so that you don't have to use your own. If you wanted to carry around heavy electric bikes though, maybe something you might want to consider is the Ceres MHS. That's also a motorhome bike rack, but that one has an 80-pound weight capacity and a sturdier platform, so you don't get any of the bike sway. But you can't carry around as many bikes, and it's more pricey than this rack. So this was a look at the Yakima LongHaul 4-bike hanging rack, and you saw it on the 2022 Winnebago Forza.
Now we're going to go ahead and take it on our test course. First we'll start with the slaloms. This is going to show the side-to-side action. It's kind of going to mimic the movements that you'll see whenever you're driving down the road normally. And now with the fold speed bumps, these are going to be pretty much like normal speed bumps. You get to see the up and down action of the bike rack and see how it holds up. Now we'll have the alternating speed bumps. This is going to be more so like the uneven roads and some of that uneven terrain you might be traveling on.